complex system and holding my hand through all the culture shocks. Because after all, your suspicions are correct. I'm not originally from Ohio. I was actually born in the distant, exotic land of Indianapolis. I promise I can't make that up. Let us remember that the United States is actually a nation of immigrants, African Americans, and conquered Mexicans and Native Americans. Today, I cannot thank you all enough for spending your Sunday evening with us. We know you have other things to do, HBO series finales to watch. But trust me, these other things cannot beat the great program we have for you tonight, God willing. I want to invite you all to not sit back, but lean forward and enjoy our program. Let your guards down and let us in. We promise not to convert you, not intentionally. At the end of our program, we will have 10 to 15 minutes of socializing time before sunset, which will be enhanced by our lovely guitar performance of Hector Mendoza. Thank you, Hector. During that time, please leave your seats, find someone who is not sitting at your table and who does not look like you. Talk to them about something you have in common, other than your longing for dinner, which will not be served before sunset. We're sorry. Today, you're all fasting on our account. When we started this group 2 years ago, there were no Muslims involved in local politics, and we thought this needs to change. Today, we are beyond honored to have with us a Muslim who serves in one of the highest ranks of politics, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, who is a role model for us in her commitment and her perseverance. Being Muslim to us is more than an identity. It's an active engagement with life to bring about justice, unity, and tranquility. We believe Muslims and Islam have something to offer to American politics, and not just on issues pertaining to Muslims. We understand that politics is about every aspect of people's lives, and unfortunately, Muslims have been excluded from this conversation of politics for far too long. This is now changing, however. Muslims currently vote at roughly the same rates as their generational peers. I was surprised to discover that. 48% of eligible Muslims under 30 cast a ballot in the November 2017 election, compared to 50% of the general public. We plan to raise that to 100% in Lucas County. We were not and are not oblivious to the faults of the Democratic Party, but we have the good fortune of being in a city and a county with a robust group of young Democrats and older Democrats who have welcomed us with open arms and are willing to listen, learn, teach, and organize with us at the same time. To name a few of those mentors, Adam McGuire's here, Rachel Ryan, Mike Barnes, Anthony Ford, Brittany Moore, Quinlan Tyler, and so many others. Scott Newman. Together we are committed to making the world a better place, starting with our neighbors and our local communities. Actually, Muslims' involvement in politics has been most evident in 2018's midterm Blue Muslim Wave. I've heard of the Blue Wave, but this is the Blue Muslim Wave, where more than 90 American Muslims across the country ran for office. Right. Most lost in the primaries, but a few made it onto the ballot, including Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. The two are now in Congress, and we are beyond delighted to have one of them with us today. Their platforms were squarely within the left wing of the Democratic Party. They are committed to economic justice for working people, Medicare for all, calling out ISIS family separation policies, and holding the Democratic leadership accountable. Young Muslims are much like others in their generation. They are racially diverse, their attitudes toward politics and race and discrimination generally mirror those of other young ethnic minorities. Unfortunately, just like many others in our population, 1/3 of Muslims find themselves at or below the poverty line. It thus comes as no surprise that most important to those people are wages and affordable health care. Actually, what is most distinctive about American Muslims is not how liberal they are, because many other ethnic minorities are leaning liberal and democratic in 2019. What's most distinctive about the voting Muslim population in the U.S. is how young they are. 37% of voting age Muslims in America are under 30, and 80% are under 50. Muslims from a wide variety of social demographic backgrounds expressed a preference for the Democratic Party over the GOP. Muslim women are about 10 percentage points more likely than Muslim men to affiliate with the Democratic Party. No surprise there. Men will get there, we think. Inshallah. Inshallah means God willing in Arabic. It is worthy of noting here that in 2001, the world's most populous Muslim country, who knows what that is? Does anyone know? Indonesia. What? Brittany Ford. Appointed its first woman president. And hopefully America will get there in 2021.
Yeah.
She won't be Muslim, but hopefully she'll be a president. No, we'll get there. That takes a long time. The Young Muslim Democrats' mission has always been to organize and engage the local community around the needs of Muslims, people of color, and all disenfranchised groups. We cannot think of a better way to celebrate today than the remembrance of our brother Malcolm X. May God bless him and his soul. Historically, the first significant wave of Muslims in the United States were African. More recently in Toledo, the first Muslim immigrants came from Lebanon and Syria in the 1800s. And actually, the first mosque to be built in Ohio is right here in Toledo. It's called Masjid al-Islam, and it's right here in downtown. The Young Muslim Democrats is also one of the first. We like being one of the first in everything. We are one of the first groups organized and affiliated with the Democratic Party in our county, yet existing under the distinct title of being Muslim. Some of the activities that we've held over past years included presentations and discussions over the crisis of Palestine, meeting with Senator Brown to request that he vote no against legislation that would have criminalized boycotts, which in fact he did vote no for.
Right.
And we have been lucky to lead community discussions on prison reform, an issue that impacts everyone in our communities. We know we have a long way to go. We are working on holding presentations at community centers to engage youth in the political process, and we have a large representation of youth here with us. Thank you so much. Tonight, we reiterate to you, all of you, our commitment to foster and perpetuate the ideals of justice and social welfare, to exercise our rights to participate in the electoral process, and to strive to encourage the participation and involvement of all members of this county. You don't have to agree with us about everything to work with us. I mean, if you do, we have a few imams in the house who are happy to talk to you about being Muslim. That's a joke. If anyone's scared, don't worry. Within the Muslim population, Muslims don't agree on everything. If you have any Muslim friends, you may have noticed some of us fasted on May 5th, some of us fasted on May 6th, go figure. We're still working on that. Muslims don't have to agree on everything, nor do non-Muslims have to agree on everything or like everything about Islam to work with Muslims. Think about it. Even people we dislike most hold some values that we agree with. Take, for example, President Trump. We disagree with him on many levels. However, I cannot agree more with this quote. Can we see in each other a common humanity, a shared dignity, and recognize how our different experiences have shaped us? Yeah, that was President Obama. But you get my point. The persecution and discrimination against Muslims in the U.S. started many decades ago, over 200 years before President Trump instituted a Muslim ban that barred Muslims from 7 Muslim majority countries from entering the United States. Many, many years ago, Congress prohibited Muslim immigrants from becoming naturalized citizens. During this span, Muslim identity by law was viewed as contradictory to American citizenship. Such discriminatory policies are not unique to Muslims in the United States. The Japanese internment camps are no secret to this country. But together we shall resist. I am reminded of a quote by one of my favorite Supreme Court justices. Yes, I'm a lawyer and I'm a nerd, I'm sorry. Justice Sotomayor wrote in her dissent to the Supreme Court, when the Supreme Court allowed the Muslim ban to stand, she said, The United States of America is a nation built upon the premise of religious liberty. Our founders honored that core promise by embedding the principle of religious neutrality in the First Amendment. The court's decision today fails to safeguard that fundamental principle. It leaves undisturbed a policy that was advertised openly and unequivocally as a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States, because the policy now masquerades behind a facade of national security concerns. Muslims in America have the generous mentorship of the African American community, which has always led the way for other disenfranchised groups in its resistance to injustice. Thank you. I cannot use enough words to describe to you the sense of safety that I feel when I am in an inner city and I see a young black man who looks at me like he's going to take care of me when I park my car, because he knows what it's like to look like me, and he has been there, and he will be there. So thank you. Today, black people make up 20% of the United States' overall Muslim population. So we are here to reclaim the legacy of Brother Malcolm X, who died on a day like today in 1965. Did you know how old he was when he died? Take a guess. Okay, Henry.
35.
He was 39. He was so young. I would never have guessed that. We resist the attempts to delete him from history or to distort his legacy. He knew that he would die young, but that would not deter him. He said, I know that societies often have killed people who have helped to change those societies. And if I can die having brought any lights, having exposed any meaningful truth that will help destroy the racist cancer that is malignant in the body of America, then all credit be to Allah. Malcolm X had the courage to challenge everyone to do better. He said, I am for truth, no matter who tells it. I am for justice, no matter who it is, against or for. I am a human being first and foremost. As such, I am for whoever and whatever benefits humanity as a whole. Malcolm was and is our strength. He gave us shoulders to stand on and an intellectual foundation to build on. Today we say, brother, we follow in your footsteps. Thank you.